This looks designed. It isn't. Look at your eye. It's extraordinarily complex. Layers, lenses, nerve connections, light processing, a biological system so intricate that for centuries people assumed it must have been intentionally created. That conclusion feels obvious, and according to Richard Dawkins, it's wrong. Not because the eye is simple, not because it appeared by accident in a single step, but because complexity can emerge through a process that has no foresight and no plan. That's the argument at the heart of the Blind Watchmaker. And once you properly understand the mechanism, it becomes difficult to see biology in quite the same way again. The problem: human intuition breaks down here. People are very good at recognizing intentional objects. A watch has a maker, a building has an architect, a computer has engineers behind it. So when we encounter something vastly more complicated than any machine, the instinctive reaction is obvious. Somebody must have designed it. For most of human history, that explanation seemed perfectly reasonable. The problem is that evolution by natural selection produces results that strongly resemble intentional design without requiring any intelligence behind the process itself. That is the central idea Dawkins is trying to get across. The core idea: selection, not planning. The mechanism itself is simple. Living organisms vary slightly from one generation to the next. Some variations improve survival or reproduction. Those variations become more common over time. Others disappear. That's the entire process. No foresight, no target, no long-term objective. Natural selection does not know where it is going. It simply preserves what works in the immediate environment. A key insight: cumulative selection. This is the part people often misunderstand. Critics of evolution sometimes describe it as if fully formed complexity appeared all at once through random chance. That would indeed be absurd. A fully functioning eye appearing in one step is fantastically improbable. But evolution does not operate in single leaps. It operates cumulatively. Tiny useful changes are preserved and built upon over enormous stretches of time. Dawkins illustrates this with examples showing the difference between pure randomness and cumulative selection. If you randomly generate letters, producing a meaningful sentence is effectively impossible. But if correct letters are retained at each stage, progress accelerates dramatically. Evolution works through accumulation. That changes everything. Why the time scale matters. Human beings struggle to intuit geological time. Millions of years are difficult to visualize in any meaningful sense. As a result, evolution can feel implausible because the mind compresses the process into something much shorter and more immediate. But natural selection does not need sudden miracles. It only requires small advantages accumulating across immense periods of time. Given enough iterations, complexity emerges gradually. Not instantly, gradually. That distinction is crucial. The moment the argument clicks, this is where the book becomes powerful. Once you stop imagining evolution as a single event and start thinking in terms of cumulative change, the apparent impossibility begins to dissolve. The I no longer has to appear fully formed. It only has to improve slightly at each stage. A basic light-sensitive patch is useful. A slightly curved patch is more useful. A primitive lens is better still. Each stage provides an advantage over what came before. And over immense timescales, those incremental improvements accumulate into something astonishingly complex. The broader implications. The Blind Watchmaker is not primarily a book about religion. It is a book about explanation. But the implications inevitably extend beyond biology. If natural selection can account for apparent design, then one of the oldest arguments for a designer loses much of its force. That does not automatically disprove religious belief, but it does remove the necessity for invoking a designer to explain biological complexity. And that shift had a major cultural impact. Why the book had such an effect? Scientifically, Dawkins was not introducing a new theory. Evolution by natural selection was already well established. What made the book influential was clarity. It explained a counterintuitive process in a way ordinary readers could follow step by step. That mattered because many people accepted evolution academically while still intuitively feeling that life looked designed. Dawkins targeted that intuition directly. The style of the book. Dawkins writes with precision and confidence. The arguments are direct. The analogies are carefully chosen. There is very little hedging or ambiguity. For supporters, this makes the book compelling and memorable. For critics, the tone can sometimes feel dismissive or overly certain. That sharp style became highly influential in later science communication and public debates about religion and evolution. The criticisms. There are legitimate criticisms of some aspects of Dawkins' broader views. Some biologists argue that evolution is not always as gradual and as smooth as presented here. Others disagree with the strong gene-centered emphasis associated with works like The Selfish Gene. And many people reject the philosophical conclusions Dawkins draws from evolutionary theory. But even many critics acknowledge the effectiveness of the central explanation presented in this book. Why it still matters. Decades later, The Blind Watchmaker remains influential because it addresses a problem that has never really disappeared. People still look at complexity and instinctively infer intention. Dawkins' argument is that this intuition, while understandable, does not accurately describe how biological complexity arises. That remains one of the most important and controversial ideas in modern science. Closing thoughts, the unsettling idea. The unsettling aspect of natural selection is not that it fails to produce complexity. It is that it produces extraordinary complexity without understanding anything at all. Natural selection does not anticipate the future. It does not work towards a goal. It simply preserves what functions effectively in the present. over immense spans of time, that process is sufficient to produce structures and organisms that appear designed. According to Dawkins, the appearance of design is real, but the designer is not.